Okay, my beautiful friends, we are together again at last, and I am really happy about that. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. What a day. A big day. We heard from the Federal Reserve, or Yellowstone himself, and we heard from the president. I want to highlight both of these things here, and it's going to put a lot into perspective for you. You're going to understand where we're going from here. And I think it's going to be pretty interesting. Let's start off with the basics here. A very volatile day on Wall Street. Stocks all over the place. In the negative, in the positive, in the negative. How did we end up? Dow finished fractionally lower. S&P at the flat line. NASDAQ did put on a 1.2% gain or something along those lines. Okay. 10-year yield dropped. I don't like it. You know I don't like it. I don't like it. But we do have to talk. Crude oil made a miraculous turnaround. A miraculous turnaround from being, down pretty big to reversing that, going positive again. Crude oil is what? The lifeblood of the military-industrial complex. It will be propped up. Period. The end. Just get used to it. The price action is not real. Nothing is real. But that's our strength, understanding that nothing is real. But something real did happen today, and I'm going to give the president credit. Look, I'm a fair guy. I call out the president when I think he's lying, when I think he's completely confabulating, and I do give him credit where credit's due. I did the same thing to President Obama, all right? I don't play favorites. I'm pretty much apolitical. I don't really care who sits in the White House. It doesn't matter to me at all. It shouldn't matter to you. They are a mouthpiece. They are a puppet. It's a one-party system. You know that. But before we go there, let's cover a few other things here. Gold and silver put on nice gains. Crypto's flat. Big gains are coming for both cryptos and metals moving forward. And we can take that clue from Yellowstone. Let's start off with Yellowstone, Fed Chair Powell. Fed Chair Powell said specifically on live TV, I got a nice snapshot of it. I posted on my social media networks. He admitted, what a shocker, and it really is actually. He admitted that the Federal Reserve has crossed red lines. However, he justified the Federal Reserve crossing red lines because of the pandemic, or should we say plandemic? This is exactly what this is. Mr. Powell, Yellowstone, did explain how the Federal Reserve's asset purchases, well, we're just in the early stages of these asset purchases. Now, he spoke of tools, just like Fed President Williams did yesterday. Tools. We know what their tools are, and they're utilizing them. Now, the fact that Powell is admitting they crossed red lines, it's all good because of the pandemic, and they've just started buying assets. What does that tell us? Where's the clue? All right, that means the Fed is going to go hyper-nuclear, like I've been explaining they would be doing, like they've been doing, but they haven't even started. How many times have you heard that come out of my mouth over the past few months? They haven't even begun to buy assets, even though they're buying the entire world via other world central banks, funneling cash around the world. Their balance sheet, plural, are going to quadruple, mark my words on that one. And again, a stunning admission that not only has the Fed crossed red lines, plural, that's Yellowstone speaking, that's not Greg Mannarino, but he's admitting that asset purchases have just begun. What does this mean for you and me? If you're a stacker, or if you're a holder of cryptocurrencies, well, it means just load up. If you're in the stock market, it means buy calls. You understand? Okay. I know a lot of people looking for a crash, but with the Fed just beginning, according to Fed Chair Powell to buy assets, well, you can only imagine where we're going from here. Again, this is a takeover, a global takeover. The European Central Bank. We heard from the European Central Bank today, and yeah, they're going to start cranking up the printing presses as well. You mean they're all synchronizing what they're doing? They're all doing the same thing at the same time? Wow, someone around here has been explaining that to you since time immemorial. Yes, I have. Now let's move forward here to President Trump. President Trump spoke today on China. I will say this. The president was absolutely on point with regard to China. Not only that, in a roundabout way, and I'm going to give the president even more credit, he's admitted that the China trade deal has gone nowhere, how China is not keeping their end of any part of a deal. So look, without saying it, he's saying it, what we already know. The deal in principle, because that's really all we had. You have to understand that. We never really had a deal. It was a phase one, many other phases to begin. This was a phase one deal in principle. Regardless of what they signed, there was nothing enforceable in the deal. Okay? So the fact that the president is coming out here and admitting, hey, you know what? Things aren't exactly so great over there. I think the market liked to hear it. Look, the market, as well as you, do not want to be lied to. We don't need photo ops. We don't need promises. We want action. And again, going back to giving the president a little credit here, he admitted it. He's admitted that China is not doing what they were supposed to be doing with regard to the trade deal. He also laid out a case for pretty much everything China's been doing lately. And this is nothing new. Again, China has been... You can't trust China whenever they say something. You can't trust what they say. Deals in principles, anything that's not enforceable is dog poop. It's dog poop. And hopefully now the president will realize that. I mean, I think he was maybe trying to give China the benefit of the doubt here, but it was a big mistake. And I think he admitted that today. And for that, I will say bravo to you, Mr. President. I give you a lot of heat, but I'm a fair guy, and I will give you credit where credit's due. So with that said here, again, the president did not threaten. A lot of people, including me, expected threats. He did not do that. It was very measured. Yes, he was going from teleprompter to teleprompter to teleprompter, but he didn't ad-lib it. You know what I mean? He stuck to the game plan. Teleprompters. That's what they do. That's what President Obama did too. They're both for the most part teleprompters in chief. But I mean, Obama took the record with regard to telepromptering, if that's even a word. But sometimes President Trump goes off script. He did not go off script. He stuck to it, and the market liked what it heard. I liked what I heard as a market participant. As an American citizen, I like what I heard from the president here. Anyway, let's just hope this measured tone lasts from the president. We'll see. Sometimes he's a wild card. He's a loose cannon. He says things that I think maybe he doesn't mean or regrets after he says it. I think that's something we're all guilty of from time to time. So anyway, look. So in recap of what's happening here, today was a huge day. And I already have an idea a little bit of how I'm going to lay out my markets a look ahead segment, which I'm going to do Sunday. But let's again recap real quick. Volatile day in the market. We heard from Fed Chair Powell today. Some shocking admissions about crossing red lines, about asset purchases which have just begun. So that's extremely stock market positive, regardless of anything else. The Fed's going to buy it all. That's their goal. That's their end game. This is their final solution. This is why they were created. The Fed's very inception, its conception, was to eventually own the world. And that's why they popped up central banks all over the planet. They have a grip on us like this, and they're squeezing it. And unfortunately, a new world order is coming out of it, and we're going to answer to the Fed directly or indirectly via their mouthpieces, and you know who they are. Elected officials, presidents, kings, queens, monarchs, all of them. They all answer to the Federal Reserve, central banks, the central bank network. That's what they do. With regard to President Trump today, very good. Very good on point talk. Honestly. So if he keeps this tone and he doesn't go over the top, although China already fired back. I don't know if you got a glimpse of that, but I did take a snapshot again. China's promising to retaliate. Whatever. We'll just see where this all goes. As far as I'm concerned, again, this is a setup for stocks to move higher. Again, I'll cover more of this over the weekend. Let's see what happens. Rest of the today, Saturday, Sunday, we'll see what comes out of mouths of people moving forward. But keep your eye on that 10-year yield. I don't like it at all. But with that said, today was a pretty good day. Now, it's Friday, people. It is Friday, and this is the part I look forward to all week long. Right? This little phrase that I end every Friday with. All right, you ready? Love each other, care about each other, and be charitable. It's got to start with someone. So it's going to be you, and it's going to be me. I will see all of you on Sunday. I love you a lot. I mean it. Please share the video. Get it out there. I want to hear what you have to say. If you heard the president talk, what did you think about what he said? Even if you hate the guy's guts, you got to admit, he kind of nailed it, okay? Anyway, and with Jay Powell admitting that the Fed's crossed lines, but it's okay because of the pandemic, and also stating they've just begun purchasing assets. What do you think? All right? I'm out of here. See you Sunday.